Remarkably quiet from the White House today. I think everybody's still digesting the bombshells of the weekend, quite literally, but also metaphorically, of course. Donald Trump saying that he was going to be running Venezuela before Secretary of State Marco Rubio on Sunday tried to walk that back and say that he meant more in terms of a policy aspect he'd be running Venezuela. But Donald Trump then going against his own Secretary of State and said that they, i.e. the US, were in charge of Venezuela at the moment. And of course, the tone from the Venezuelan camp also softening over the course of the weekend. Initially, a very heated rhetoric towards the Americans, calling it a barbarity, this operation that took place over the weekend, before then ultimately softening to saying that there could be some kind of mutual collaboration when it comes to the oil industries and such. But Donald Trump still seemingly full steam ahead on this campaign. He is determined to get U.S. oil companies into the Venezuelan oil industry, which of course is the largest untapped reserves in the world. And Donald Trump sees a lot of money that could be made there. Now, of course, officially, the official reasoning for this was the execution of a warrant, that warrant which led to that arrest of Maduro and ultimately his arraignment in that court in Lower Manhattan on Monday. But of course, now we are seeing other things coming to the fore, this idea of regime change in Venezuela potentially, and also the amount of money that stands to be made by the oil fields. Lastly, Mark, just some interesting reporting that came to light over the course of the last 24 hours or so, reporting by the Washington Post. A lot of people were concerned and asking questions about why Donald Trump seemed to be siding with the vice president of Venezuela, now the interim president, Rodriguez, rather than the people who many international onlookers believe won the 2024 Venezuelan election. Well, some reporting about Machado and her lack of support by Donald Trump seems to be because she won the Nobel Peace Prize, and rather than rejecting it and saying it belongs to Donald Trump, she only dedicated it to him. So some interesting reporting there from the Post, who cite two sources, but that could indeed be one of the reasons why Donald Trump is where he is right now on the regime in Venezuela.
It's astonishing to think that it could be something as petty as that, Fraser, isn't it, given the importance of what is happening right now?
Yeah, it's phenomenal, really. But of course, Donald Trump has really had this bee in his bonnet for the last year or so. Pretty much since he came into office, he said that he deserves this peace prize for stopping numerous wars. The count keeps dripping up and up. He says at the moment it's about 8.25 wars because some of the fighting in some of the conflicts has reignited. But Donald Trump still believes that he's not getting the international credit that he believes he deserves for stopping all of these wars. Of course, some of these conflicts are still ongoing, and the one that is the biggest bee in his bonnet is, of course, the war in Ukraine, which Donald Trump said he would have wrapped up in 24 hours. But now we are a year into his tenure in the White House, and that war's still raging on.